Meeting for Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pick a flag.
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
I apologize for not standing, but my dog will start barking.
Understood.
It's okay, Donna. All right, Patrick, will you do roll call?
Sure thing. Aleppo Township, Avalon, Bell Acres, Bellevue,
Here.
Ben Avon, Ben Avon Heights,
Here.
Edgeworth, Emsworth,
Here.
Glen Osborne,
Here.
Glenfield,
Here.
Hayesville, Kilbuck,
Here.
Leet,
Here,
Leedsdale, Sewickley,
Here.
Sewickley Heights. One short of a quorum, but we're working on that. So we'll just skip to the non-voting portion of the meeting
All right,
for now.
so we do not have any members of the public right now, so we will skip over public comments.
Well, technically we do with Hunter, so we might as well introduce you to the group now. Hunter, if you don't mind, and if you're able to hop on camera here.
Hello.
A brief introduction of yourself. Hunter's going to be our Sewickley Hills delegate. So if you just want to give a brief background and a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name's Hunter Hopkins, and so Sewickley Hillsborough is, interested in joining the Quaker Valley COG. So we're excited, and I know that we're on the agenda this evening, so I kind of wanted to listen in and just kind of see what the meeting's all about.
Well, thank you for hopping on.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll skip over items 5 and 6 until we have a quorum. We'll skip down to 7, President's Report. I don't have anything to report this month, but I just wanted to welcome Hunter and Sewickley Hillsborough. It's very exciting to see the letter and that the borough has voted to approve. And it's just exciting for the COG that we now have like 2 new members after all these years of not having a change in our membership. So welcome, Hunter. We all look forward to working with you.
We're very excited to be a part of it, and looking forward to being an active member and helping with quorums and everything.
We appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
And Steve, you're only a new guy for what, 2 months?
I know that was my go-to joke. I'm no longer the new guy, so thank you.
Right, that's amazing. All right, moving on, Route 65 report.
So no report for Route 65. Last month we did have that presentation from the Leadership Development Initiative and Leadership Pittsburgh. So hopefully everyone had a chance to take a look at the materials they generated. And again, we'll be in the loop as the months go on here and as they continue to work. They, as in the Manchester Citizens Corporation, with Michael Baker. So as news arises, I will certainly keep the group in the loop.
Okay. Next, moving on to Emergency Preparedness Committee update.
So the May 23rd meeting was postponed. So we're still working on a date with the group, probably sometime after the 4th of July, just acknowledging it's hard to get everyone together with the holiday coming up. So probably sometime after that. So that's the report for that.
Okay. Next, moving on to grant status report.
Yeah, so some exciting stuff for the grant. First off, it's not in the report, but it's something that I did want to report out to the group. So the CDBG award notifications should be going out to those that were selected sometime this month. The reason that there was such a delay was Allegheny County Economic Development was working with HUD, who actually distributes the funds, to get things into contract, and there was a sort of a long waiting period as far as would these projects be funded with the budget and everything. So from all reports, the projects were selected by the county and they will be funded. We're just still waiting on this ultimate award letter. So once those are in hand, I'll get them out. But there should be something before the end of June.
Okay.
Other than that, I always encourage everyone to take a look at the report.
Mhm.
Things move slowly with, working. Anytime you work with the county and the state, things move a little slowly, but we are making progress. It's the heat of construction season right now. I know a project in Leedsdale, for instance, kicked off today, an ADA parking project. And yeah, busy time of year for grants.
All right. Any questions about grants? All right, let's move on to the executive director's report.
All right, so again, a couple of news items that aren't in the report just because they happened so recently. So Case Sabatini, they are our appointed audit firm. They wrapped up everything for the preliminary portion of the audit, sent me a draft report yesterday. So they're going to be coming to our July meeting to present just the summary of their analysis. I think, from what they gave me, everything should be pretty clear. So keep an eye on that. Also, I this morning I presented to the local government academies municipal intern cohort. So there was 20 interns this cycle. So this was their first like coffee chat sort of thing where they bring everyone together. This was on Zoom, but sometimes they have in-person meetings as well. So again, it's an opportunity for everyone that's an intern to have the same experience. They heard me talk about my experience as an intern 10 years ago and sort of how I've worked through the local government realm. They had an opportunity to ask some questions. So that was fun. And I'll actually be participating in a mock debate, like sort of thing that's going to be in July. They're going to have a board of developers and like a fake council, and they're going to basically see how a land development would be approved. So I was asked to participate in that too. So I'll be helping them out with that in July. It's going to be on the University of Pittsburgh's campus. So again, anytime I can give back and try to encourage more people to, step into the realm of local government, I always say yes. Let's see what else is on the docket here. So, as we noted last month, there's an opening on the UCC, the Uniform Construction Code Board of Appeals. So what we're looking for is really somebody with a background in the construction industry. The qualifications say you should have at least 5 years. If you have somebody in mind that has 4 years, we'll certainly be open to listening to it because we need 3 people to have that board. And again, a little background on the board for those that might not be familiar. This is something that was created probably 20 years ago, and the Uniform Construction Code is very, very rarely challenged, but if it ever should be, this is an opportunity for the 12 municipalities that signed on to the Intergovernmental Pact 20 years ago to basically shift the responsibility onto us if a resident from your community does challenge the Uniform Construction Code. Again, it's very rare, but we always want to have that option for those that need it. So if you have anybody in mind in your communities, please encourage them to throw a resume our way, and we'll go ahead and get them on the board.
And how often is that for me? What's their?
To give you an idea of how often they meet, I've been here for 4.5 years, and they met 0 times. So we get a lot of we get a lot of inquiries about like, hey, there's somebody challenging the property maintenance code. Can they see this? And the answer is no. That's a totally separate thing. But that's usually when it comes up, and we have to explain like there's a little bit of a difference. But yeah, so very, very infrequent meetings. But it is something we have in our arsenal for membership if they ever need it. So again, trying to plug that hole with someone that's interested and qualified. So if you have anybody in mind, let me know. Of course, throughout the last couple weeks, I was letting people know that Barbara did step down as mayor of Glen Osborne and president of our board. So I did meet with her to give her our proclamation that we approved last week. So it was good to see her again. So again, we thank her for her service. This is sort of retroactive, but it was pertinent a few days ago. So the Shaycog rock salt contract is going to be up at the end of this year. So Shaycog, again, we fall underneath the Shaycog Joint Purchasing Alliance. All cogs in the county do. We pay like $1,500 a month, and basically we piggyback off of their rock salt and other spring and summer commodities. So with this particular item, municipalities that want to participate had to submit their estimated tonnage by June 11th. So a number of our communities do participate in this. So hopefully you did. And if it's not, reach out to me. I'll get you in contact with the Shaycog office, and hopefully we can get you on board.
So we were looking at that, and I talked to, is it Sue
Sue
Dawson?
Dawson,
She said, she extended that until tomorrow, Thursday,
perfect.
so,
Oh, good.
Well, that works out.
yeah, okay.
So again, you have until tomorrow, I guess. So, but again, we have probably 12 or 13 of our communities
So,
that
but
do.
maybe our new ones would want to get in on that. That's
Yeah,
it's
we
a
use-
purchasing agreement.
We use Avalon.
Oh,
Is Avalon part of the new?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
We
so
use
we're
stuff
all,
off Avalon.
everybody's kind of secretly using it.
yeah. So that works out. And Hunter
Very
for Sewickley Hills, if you guys are interested as well. Obviously, it's a really tight timeline here,
Till
but
tomorrow.
it's something you
Yeah.
can consider for next year if you already don't participate in some way, shape, or form. But again, really cool partnership we have across the county for that. Last thing, this was a presentation that was given to our managers and secretaries in April, but the Rural Water Finance Agency, this is a very deceiving title. It's open to really any municipality, but it falls underneath the Rural Water Finance Agency at the federal level. There is a number of low interest funding available for infrastructure. And this is a newer program. So Mr. Mike McKegg of Raymond James, who's also a member of the Local Government Academy Board with me, is going to be offering this presentation free of charge on June 26th at noon. So the link is here on my report. So if you have your meeting packet, just click on that and it should take you right to the registration form. Kind of underneath the Local Government Academy umbrella. Again, it's totally free. And it's just an opportunity if you have a project at maybe 500,000, 600,000 level, maybe it's a better opportunity for you than going through a traditional bank and not having to wait for a grant and so forth. So
Mhm.
newer program, very deceiving title.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be for a water project.
Or rural.
Or rural.
So yeah, so that is the report for June.
Okay. Any questions for Patrick about the executive director's report? Okay, then let's move on to item 12, new business. First is our membership inquiry from Sewickley Hills Borough.
Yeah, so again, we can't formally vote on this yet, but I'll give you a little background for now. And I do thank Hunter for introducing himself earlier. So this goes back a few months. So following our March 19th board meeting, I had a conversation with Hunter, who expressed some interest in, seeing what the QB cog had to offer as far as programs, services, and some of our experience with grants. So I did attend their April 8th council meeting. Went pretty well, I think. I had an opportunity to answer some questions that the Borough Council had. Got a nice sales pitch from Chief Joe Haney of the Ohio Township Police Department as well, which I appreciate. But yeah, so it went really well. We had a couple email exchanges after that. And on May 13th, Sewickley Hills Borough Council formally voted to request formal membership. So late last week, I got the formal letter from Hunter and Borough Council expressing their interest. In a little background on the borough itself is they have 689 residents, 263 households, and they would be our 17th member community. So we definitely are really excited to have them on board. And if there's any questions about the potential membership or questions to Hunter, this would be the time to ask them.
Nope.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, we can't formally vote on it yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to filibuster as long as I can here
Yeah.
until we get somebody, so we can move on to the next item and see if we can get the ninth person on the call.
So our next item is the community welcome signage. So the reason this came about was because in Sewickley, there have been a couple different entities over the years who've been interested in having a sign that says Sewickley displayed at the entrance at Broad Street and 65. Which is sort of like a natural place to put a sign, but there's just never been anything like formally adopted over the years. So there were at first two different proposals that were brought to Sewickley Council. And they were very different from each other. One was a historic preservation project of the finials that used to be on the Swickley Bridge. One of them is currently in the little park that's, where are we? That's on 65, but then there's another one down by the river that they wanted to have restored and moved to the entrance of the borough. So anyways, the projects are that one's very expensive, like $300,000 to $400,000 was the estimate for that. And then other sign projects we haven't really explored. And so I suggested to our sign committee at Sewickley Borough that I talk with Patrick first, because Peter from Michael Baker, who did the design guide for 65, suggested that one of the ways to show unity along the boulevard is for the municipalities to adopt the same signage, which is what was originally done back in 1930 and that whole span of time when Ohio River Boulevard was being built. So there's that beautiful one that's still on Emsworth. It's like a concrete, or I guess it's not, I don't know what it is, stone.
Part of a former bridge.
It was too, okay. So that's what used to be at the gateway of every community along Ohio River Boulevard. But over the years, of course, there are many are not there anymore. So my idea was to, and Patrick thought that this was an interesting thought to bring to our board, was would we want to ask Peter to design a couple of options for us to look at signage? And then if Sewickley were the first to adopt it, like maybe this isn't on the docket for other communities, but at least we would have considered them in this space, so that Sewickley wouldn't just be like doing its own thing and then saying, well, hey, you should be doing what we're doing. Like, I just don't think it would get adopted consistently if we did it that way. So I want to bring it to the COG before Sewickley pursues it any further. So I guess the proposal here is to reach out to Peter at Michael Baker, or just reach out to Michael Baker and ask them if they would be willing to put together a couple of designs for us to consider. And then if our board votes on what we like, we can take them to our respective communities and see what they think about it. And I also want to make sure that it's affordable for every neighborhood to do it. Because once I saw that price tag of that finial thing, and that doesn't prevent Sewickley from being able to do the finial project either. We could do that separately if that's something we want to do, but this is just to get a cohesive design for the gateways of the communities.
Unitary.
Yeah, we're off the beaten path.
Yeah, obviously, you will.
And to Julie's point, in the design guide that she referenced, there are some sections that pretty much talk about, the benefits of a region having some unified signage, wayfinding, so forth, and some examples of it as well. So hopefully everyone had a chance to take a look at that. And what's proposed in the cover memo here is basically I'd reach out to Michael Baker, say, hey, we have a small budget here. This is what we have in mind. Could you give us a formal quote to design a few QB-COG centric designs that we could then bring to all the communities, and they could put their own spin on it, their own tweak as far as their individual communities. But it gives us something to work off of, not only this year, but down the road as well.
Well, in their design parameters, what like you're saying, would you give them saying, hey, we don't want this, we need, you don't want them designing a sign or marker that's gonna cost,
Yeah,
again,
Right.
$100,000.
yeah, exactly.
So you would give them that parameter to say, hey, we want some designs, that keeps it in the budget of
Right.
$10,000
Yeah.
or $20,000.
Something that's easily doable
Right.
for the smallest and
Right.
largest community along the corridor. Yeah.
And what Peter is really good at too is like, because design can be consistent in different ways. So you could have just like the same font, like the script is the same, but the sign size could be different based on the neighborhood that it's in, but there would be a cohesive design that would pull it together all the way. So he will have all the great, ideas, I would think, about how to do that. To make it so that it could be affordable for anyone. I think that's really key.
And this opening discussion, maybe we're totally out of the ballpark as far as $3,500 or $3,000 as far as putting this together. But this gives us something in my back pocket to go to them and say, hey, this is what we think. Are you interested? Yes or no? And how much would it cost us? And then from there, we can have them come out maybe in the July or August meetings to speak a little more in detail of what they would do for us. Kind of take some feedback from the group of what you'd want to see, maybe some characteristics of the sign that you want to have included. And then from there, they can sort of give us their whatever it might be. I mean, I'm not an expert on design, but I think they would be probably one of our best options, especially since we have that existing relationship with them.
Well, and I was just thinking, Peter worked with Chateau and Manchester neighborhoods on their Connecting Communities grant. I'm just wondering if this could be qualify for a Connecting Communities grant. What if we could get grant money to fund the signs because it is connecting communities? I really don't know if that grant is still in existence. But I mean, it's just an idea that maybe we could get grant money for something like that.
Or not just that, but any grant. Is there something out there that they see in the realm of design that they
Right.
have experience with? So
Yeah,
yeah, an idea.
Conversation doesn't hurt, so that's all you want to do is have a conversation with them.
right,
Sure.
exactly.
Sure.
And we do have Ellen on the call, so we have a
Oh.
formal quorum.
Okay.
So if we want to
You
vote
want to
on,
work backwards?
do you want to vote on this first? So we
Yeah.
can put a bill on it.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm really sorry. I had a water leak at my house and kind of
Okay.
lost track of time. Sorry about that.
Oh, no
Oh,
problem.
no.
Thank you for hopping on the call.
Of course.
All right, so do you want me to just work backwards with all of the votes that we would have wanted, Patrick?
Okay.
We'll start with the community signage. I would take a motion to approve that give permission for Patrick to reach out to Michael Baker and ask for some, like an official quote with a budget of $3,500.
Not to exceed or something like
Not
that.
to exceed $3,500 for community signage.
I make that motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, let's back up to our membership of accepting the membership of the Swickley Hills Borough. I take a motion to accept the request from Swickley Hills Borough to join the QV-COG as our 17th municipality.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Thank you to Swickley Hills Borough and welcome. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
The board,
Thank
Honor.
you. Maybe I said welcome before I took the vote.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to number 6 on our agenda tonight is the approval of the May financial reports, unpaid bills list, and payroll summary. First, I'll take a motion.
I move.
Second.
Okay, and Patrick, did you want to?
Yeah, the biggest thing just being our audit was wrapped up, like I said, yesterday, and we'll have a formal presentation. Again, it's not an accurate reflection on like present day, but it's up till the end of 2024. So really excited about that. Everything else, I think we're looking really good budget wise, meeting all of our markers. And we just did apply for our annual distribution from the county. It's $7,500. It can just go basically towards salaries. So every year we apply for that. It was a little later again because everything in the county is delayed because all this money is tied up in federal contracts. So that was submitted. So we'll probably have that $7,500 hit the accounts sometime in the next 30 days. But other than that, status quo. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
Any questions for Patrick?
Well,
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion. And then we'll back up to item number 5, approval of the May 21st, 2025 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments on the minutes? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. So let's see. Well, we can go down to old business, which I think there is none. And then number 14, concerns by delegates.
Yeah, let's just go around the horn here real quick. Let's mix it up, as I always do, the order of municipalities. So Julie, start us off. We'll go around the table and we'll go around Zoom.
Okay, so Wickley is doing a lot of park improvements right now, over by Riverfront Park and Maple Lane Park, which is closer to the river and the train tracks. There's some new parks going in and pickleball courts, tennis court, new basketball area. And then the Maple Lane Park has some new playground equipment. And then in our most recent park that we just put together in front of the Lindsay Theater last year, that's called Walnut Green. Sweetwater Center for the Arts had a jazz concert there last week, and they are gonna have a couple more jazz concerts there, so it's kind of a neat place just to like walk around and see on the weekend.
Very good. Paul, what's new in Glenfield?
Nothing really.
Alrighty, Steve.
Benjamin Heights, we had a sewer project was awarded, so we're moving on that to catch up with our O&M project there. We have sidewalk design, we're redoing a major part of our sidewalks, going down to our business area. There's only one business. So we're getting that going. And then we opened our bids for our trash contract last meeting.
Oh,
What were
wow.
the results?
It's interesting. So we had 3 bidders. We opened it up for a 1-year bid and a 3-year bid. We only had one bidder that bid for 1 year. And it was a favorable bid. So we're trying to wane through what we do. So there's an attractive 3-year bid. For like that gets us in a different space with the cog. So we have to look at that, or we have to look at what we want to the 1-year bid, ride that through. Or what we talked about earlier, we don't think that's probably on the table though either, which was join the cog, like use the cog, ride it out, but I don't think we can do that. Or we have to check with our legal team and stuff, so there's some things we have to kind of maneuver through on this.
Okay.
Well, I'd definitely be in favor. Like, I definitely want to take a look at those numbers too, because it's going to give us sort of a advance of what we should expect
Yeah.
and who's bidding and
Yeah, I
what
got
the
a
numbers
nice,
look
I got a nice cheat sheet that I'm working through. And I can show you, I can send your way.
like. Yeah, perfect.
It has the cog numbers, it has, our 1 year and 3 years. Just trying to make sense of it all and
Yeah,
make it digestible for council and make a recommendation.
perfect. Thank you for that update.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Daryl, what's new in Killbuck?
Good luck. Talk about the things that affect other communities. Route 65 is obviously a big concern of everybody. There's been requests from people to put a traffic light at the intersection of Tom's Run and Route 65. If you know where Tom's Run pops out,
Mhm.
which I'm not averse to that. So we approached the state because Tom's Run is a state road, as is Route 65. It's a state road meeting a state road. We've been told that the township has to pay for a traffic study, even though it's 2 state roads, and the township has to pay to install a traffic light if we decide to do a traffic light and all the support that goes with a traffic light, backup generator, et cetera, even though it's a state road meeting a state road.
Mhm.
And the cost of a traffic light would be between $400,000 and $600,000, which we will not and cannot do. We're not gonna do that. So we've just gone back to the state and said, this is your problem. You need to deal with this because the situation with that intersection is very dangerous. So that's where we stand. We have to pay for it, even though it's 2 state roads, we find utterly ridiculous. So, I know Emsworth has some of the same kind of issues going through Emsworth, but, they're mostly not state road meeting state road. They're mostly community road meeting state road. So two different situations. So we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with that issue. The other issue is Camp Horn Road and Amwood Community Park. And their new parking area across the road from the park, which is in Killbuck Township. And
Oh.
we're in the process of, we've done the engineering work to get a design for having a thing where you push a button and the light comes on and tells the traffic to stop so people can safely cross Camp Horn Road. So we've done that all so far with grant money. And we're gonna be going out for more grant money with PennDOT to fund the actual light situation, which is probably gonna be a couple $100,000 at least, probably $250,000.
A light there as well?
Well,
Or a red
it's
light
gonna
right
be,
there?
it's not gonna be a traffic light, it's gonna be you come out of the park, you walk down the sidewalk, and then you get to the crosswalk and you push a button.
Police crossing.
And yeah, and the light comes on and tells the traffic to stop so you can get across. It's not a traffic light, it's
Oh, but it does stop traffic.
it does stop
Okay,
traffic, yes.
okay.
it does
That's
stop
big
traffic.
in Florida.
That's
There's a lot
important.
of that in Florida.
Yeah, so
That's really scary right there.
it is
Yeah.
because, you get kids crossing and that overflow parking lot's nice for them, but it's kind of dangerous.
Mhm.
So time being, we tell everybody to be very careful crossing Camp Horn. And there's also a trail that starts in that parking lot that goes up the hill and eventually will tie into Ben Evan Heights up that direction as well. So, there's a lot of reasons for us to make sure safety, it's safe there. But that's another community project that we're working on that affects all local communities as well. Other than that, there's nothing going on.
Daryl, you might want to think about talking with the state reps about the light on 65 there.
Yeah, we're already talking to Ben Cat. We've already
Okay, okay.
talked to his staff and
Okay,
he seems to think, they seem to think that we could potentially get state money to pay for it. And if the state's
Okay.
gonna pay for it, that's all we want.
yeah.
And we're happy but we don't think we should have to pay.
Well, you can
Yeah.
make
Did
the
a traffic
case
study
that,
when they were able to put Walmart in there.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's right, a long time ago.
I'm sure there was a traffic study when the Walmart,
Yeah.
and who paid for that?
Walmart.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Walmart paid for everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have deep pockets. They did.
Well, not necessarily, the state could have paid for it.
Yeah. But, yeah, Tom's Run I was always surprised to find out there's a state road. And what's happening is you go down Tom's Run and you make that left turn and then there's a bunch of housing developments being built up there in, what borough is that up there?
Aleppo.
Aleppo. And those people come down Tom's Run to go to work, go downtown. So more houses they build up there, the more people are coming down Tom's Run to make the turn onto the boulevard.
and they wanna make a turn to the left.
Then they turn left,
Yeah,
which is,
that is so dangerous. That is.
well, when Dixmont was there, I was in a volunteer fire company and
Mm.
there were accidents there, trucks running over cars, trying to make left turns, and it's been a mess forever. So a traffic light is a good solution, and it's also part of the calming of the traffic
Right,
on.
Yeah.
cause there's that long stretch there.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
Indy 500 going through there.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
the Emsworth 500. So, yeah, it's a dangerous section and it would serve a couple purposes.
Yeah.
Slowing 65 down
Yeah.
and solving that left turn there as well. So
Is there
hopefully,
an opportunity for more development up there, if there was a way? That's what, my other job, that's what it's always about.
yeah, and in Aleppo, I think
Real
there is.
estate.
I mean, the problem with Killbuck is we're all hills and we got our leftover stuff. You guys stole property from us. Everybody stole Killbuck property and we got the stuff that's undevelopable. So, there's only been one house.
The untouched beauty.
Exactly. We get no sewage, we get no, any of that. So, it's hard pressed to build in Killbuck, but Aleppo, top of the hill, Aleppo, they can, in High Township up there, eventually they build and, people just keep coming down there. So.
So if you need letters of support, I could cross them for you, for either one, the crosswalk or the traffic signal. If NCAT's office is looking to actually
Okay,
process something, let me know.
I'll let you know.
I think a lot of communities
Oh,
would be
yeah,
in favor of that.
Whitley would write you a letter of
Yeah.
support for that
Okay,
light, yeah.
we'll see what.
Yeah,
we'll
we're
see what
members of
they do.
Acord, or I don't call it Acord anymore.
Yeah, I call it Acord
Community,
too, yeah.
We're members, we have delegates, so we would
Yeah.
be able to write these letters.
Yeah, it's good for everybody doing that. Take care of that, so. Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's all I got.
Let's go around the horn on Zoom here. Ellen, start us off.
All right. For us in Edgeworth, oh, sorry, my son's here too. So if you hear a little voice in the background, it's just Frankie. Um, we are working on our paving right now. So big paving project for us this year, about $750,000. Our latest issue we're having is also traffic light related. So we have a traffic light at Beaver and Academy, which is where Swickley Academy is, also the Edgeworth Club, and we share Academy Avenue with Swickley Borough. And that traffic light is very old, very outdated. It's to the point of just not really working well anymore. So we're looking at submitting an Arlie grant to try and get that light upgraded. It's very expensive light, like over $400,000. So it's going to be a big project for us. Julia might be calling you and Donna to talk about this too. But other than that, everything else in Edgeworth is pretty much status quo. All of our big Beaver Road wall projects are done. So just looking at paving and a traffic light.
Awesome. Paul, what's new in Emsworth?
Absolutely nothing. Nice and quiet for a change. So all our traffic lights work. And we do, just saying that, the Walmart did end up paying for our down on Camp Horn. Walmart paid for that turning lane. If you remember way back, you only used to have one lane coming out of Camp Horn. And traffic would get backed up there constantly because people wanted to turn right, couldn't do it. So Walmart really didn't want to do it at the time, but they included it because it was right on the fringe of the traffic study. And they got about halfway through, and that's when they fell over the hill. But they agreed to honor their intentions and they paid for the entire intersection, which we're thrilled about. But we put for generators, it's extremely costly to have a generator on a traffic light all the time. Our firefighters go down and put a generator on the traffic signals when there's an extended period. The new traffic lights are LED now, so they don't take that much. You can actually power them with a little tiny Honda generator. So that's how we get around that one. That's about it for us.
Alrighty, moving along. Diane, what's new in Glen Osborne? And first off, welcome aboard. So for those that don't know, when Barbara stepped down, Glen Osborne Borough appointed Diane to be the delegate for the Keaton Golf Board.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, good. My Wi-Fi went out, so I was in and out, and it told me I'm in a waiting room and I'm not allowed to talk, but you can hear me. Great. So anyway, gosh, we certainly miss Barbara Carrier, and I am delighted to be with you. We also appointed an interim mayor last night at our council meeting. Tom Huddleston is going to help us out through the end of the year. And we are also in a transition period with Public Works. We have Brian Brown as our new Public Works contractor. And we're also working on an addendum pertaining to our salt agreement, and there are just a few loose ends that we're working on, but we're very happy to have finally reached a decision on Public Works. And Pat, I don't know if you received a letter today or notification from our borough engineer that we did submit our final payment to Jet Jack for our 2023 GEDTF grant, the sewer lining replacement project. So we're just
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Yeah, Diane, I got the letter from Clint this afternoon and actually follow the paperwork. So we'll be getting Jet Jack paid hopefully in the next, always I say about 30 days. So yeah, that project is coming to a close, and then we have a brand new sewer lining project in Glen Osborne Borough that will kick off from there.
Yes, yes, but we cannot thank you enough for all you have done to help us obtain our grants.
Well, my pleasure. And thank you for helping out and serving on the board.
Well, thank you. And that's basically what I have to submit for right now.
Excellent. All right, Donna, what's new in Leet?
Well, it is kind of quiet. Wait. Through the American Rescue Act, the police department submitted work for a carport for the police department, and it would probably house 3 cars from being just parked out in the open. So we'll be getting that shortly. The rest of the playground, that's a continuation. They're going to color the courts, pickleball, and basketball. We also have new playground equipment coming in. And that is on the one end of where the municipal complex is. And on the other end of that, there's a war memorial that we're putting together. Was all in the design plans for the park. So right now we're looking at benches, memorial benches, flagpoles, lighting, little things like that. And due to the utilities, the gas company, the water company, they tore up a couple of the roads to take care of a few things. So they're busy putting things back together, basically. So that's it.
Very good. All right, Dan, what's new in Bellevue?
Just like everyone else, not a whole lot. We finally started our next phase of streetscape. They closed down one side of Lincoln Avenue to start that project. So hopefully we can get through it without too many headaches. And then we've started the latest sewer lining project for Bellevue. So that's really about all that's happening, and I am more than happy to report just that.
Very good. And just to note for the group, the Streetscape project is the largest CDBG grant, to my knowledge, that the QB has ever administered. So $600,000.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be a tick below that just because of the way we awarded the contract with the borough. So really excited that that started up. That's something that predates me by 2 years, and it's finally underway. So there's been a lot of ups and downs, as Dan can attest. But we are really happy that that started and looking forward to seeing the final product.
Yep, me too. Thank you.
All right. Anybody that hasn't updated the group or anyone that has anything else to add?
No, then with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I so move. So
Who
quick.
could be the quickest? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Bye.
All right, we're adjourned.
We'll see everybody.
Thank you.
Happy 4th.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
See
you.
ya.